Namaste, children. Welcome back. This is your English online class for Standard 5. Comprehension. It begins with comprehension. Chapter 14. Read the given passages and answer the questions that follow. This shows we have some 3 or 4 passages. Okay. If you understand, if you listen, it will be very interesting. It will be very helpful throughout your life. Okay, let's read. Read the given passages and answer the questions that follow. The first passage is the cricket and the ants. Cricket is nothing but grasshopper. You all know grasshoppers? Yeah. And this is a very famous, well-known story which you have learnt in KG section itself. KG, when you studied kindergarten, you might have heard this lesson, or even I think even in class 1 and 2, you might have heard this lesson. This story you might have learnt under the topic the ant and the grasshopper. Do you remember the ant and the grasshopper? Yeah, the grasshopper was very lazy. The ants were very busy. Ants were saving food, but the grasshopper was singing merrily without doing any work. So in one season, what happened? The grasshopper had nothing to eat and it was about to die, but the ants helped the grasshopper and the grasshopper survived. You remember the story? I just gave the gist of the story. Now let's read. It was summer and the cricket sat on an ear of wheat. What is ear of wheat? The wheat plant, the wheat, take only one grain of, imagine only one grain of wheat. Okay. And the top layer is called as ear. Ear of wheat, happily singing and enjoying the sun. He felt extremely sorry for the ants. Now the grasshopper, that is the cricket, feels sorry for the ants because why the ants were working, who worked ceaselessly, that is without stopping, looking for grains of wheat to take back to their home. Poor things, thought the cricket. They really do not know how to enjoy life. Wow, this is really interesting, right? This particular sentence. See, being very lazy, worrying about the people who are very active. This sounds funny actually, but this is what has happened here in the story. The cricket, that is the grasshopper, thought, oh, I pity the ants. They don't know how to enjoy life. All the time they are working. Look at me, how happy I am. I am not working. I am just simply singing and enjoying. Whatever is coming on the way, I will eat. That's all. I'm not saving anything. I'm not searching for food. But the ants are not like that. They don't enjoy the life all the time. They are working very hard. That's the meaning of this. But soon the winter came, and the carefree cricket had no food at all to eat. Hope you understand this, right? So, in the season, winter season, it was full of snow, and what happened to the cricket? It didn't have any food. The carefree cricket means not worrying about anything. So, we give the title like this: carefree person, a carefree boy, carefree girl. Okay, carefree cricket had nothing to eat because he didn't save anything to eat. He would surely have died of hunger if it had not been for the generous ants who gave him some of their grain to eat. Read the sentence carefully, children. How nicely they finished such a big story in one line, you see. He would surely have died of hunger. He, who is this he here? The cricket, the grasshopper, would surely would have died of hunger. Would surely have died of hunger. Might have. The grasshopper would have died. That is the meaning here. The grasshopper would have died, but it did not. He did not die. The reason is, if it had not been for generous ants, generous means whatever you have in your hand, you share with your friends. That is only being generous. Not giving to anybody, having only for ourselves is not generosity. This is generous. The ants are so generous, and the ants helped the cricket with some food. They shared food. Who gave him some of their grain to eat? Let's read this one more time. Read along with me. He means grasshopper. Cricket. The cricket. He would surely have died of hunger if it had not been for the generous ants who gave him some of their grain to eat. That's all. Here the story ends. The moral of the story: always save something for use in a time of unforeseen difficulty or need. Always save something for use. You must save something. Maybe money, right? Do you have a piggy bank? Do you save money in that? Yes. The pocket money which your mom, dad gives, or your relatives when they come and go, they give you money. Do you save the cash? Do you save the money? Every penny, every paisa matters a lot, children. Always save something for use. In a time of unforeseen difficulty or need, it will be very useful in an unforeseen difficulty. That means unexpected difficulty. We don't know what is going to happen the next moment, what is going to happen tomorrow. So if we have something in hand, if we save something, that will be useful for during the unexpected difficult situations. That is the meaning of this unforeseen difficulty or need. Not only money, anything can be saved. And if you save something like the ants, you can share to others, share with others when they need. That is the best happiness in life, children. When you share something to your friends, when you share something to even strangers who really need something, when you finish doing that, after sharing, you will feel uh, the best thing, something is happening in your heart. You'll feel light, you'll feel better, you'll feel as if you have achieved something great in life. Have you experienced this? Have you saved money? Have you saved anything else? Have you helped anybody? Have you shared your things with anybody? If you have shared and if you have helped someone, what was your feeling by that time? How did you feel? Can you share all these things in the teams? I want to see how many of you are falling under this category. I am sure many of you would have done this. Let us see in teams. Children, now you know the story and you understood the story. Questions are going to be very easy because you know the story now. Shall we? Look at the screen. You have to say the answer loudly. Okay? Yes. What was the cricket doing during the summer? During summer season, he was sitting, he was singing and having fun, he felt sorry, none of these. What was the cricket doing? What was the grasshopper doing during summer season? Exactly. He was singing and having fun, watching at the busy ants. Second one. The cricket feels sorry for the ants because they were dash. We discussed about this line also. You remember? Working continuously, not working, looking at the wheat, none of these. Listen carefully. The cricket feels sorry for the ants because the ants were working continuously, not working, looking at the wheat, none of these. Yeah, you remember the point when we were discussing the passage. I said, see now, a lazy person looking at a busy person and worrying about him. Yeah, this is a point. Okay, now, winter season. What happened to the cricket in the winter? He died of hunger. He had no food to eat. He became thoughtless. None of these. None of these will not suit the place. Now think of these 3 points. Did the cricket die? Or he had no food to eat and he suffered a lot? Or he became thoughtless? Very good. He had no food to eat. Did the ants help the cricket? Yes. Yes, it helped. How? How did the ants help the cricket? They gave him shelter. They gave him water. They gave him grains to eat. Or none of this. What did the ants give the cricket? All of you are saying the answer, I know. Very good. They gave him grains to eat. Good children. Now, what is the moral of the story? Wait for the winter season. Save for the days of need. Rainy days can come any day. No rain at all nowadays. Huh? None of these. So now tell me which is the suitable moral for this passage. Very easy. Yeah, very good children. The passage here is the frog and the ox. Um, can you keep on talking about yourself all the time? Will you boast all the time in front of your friends and others? People might talk back about you, is it not? We should be a good listener than keep on talking about ourselves. This is one point. Next point is in a group, we should not have the idea of keeping others happy all the time. Yeah, of course, we can. We can make the group talk lively. We can make people laugh. But at the same time, we should not be a fool. We should not fool ourselves. That is not the thing which you have to do to make others happy. Got the point, children? Yes. This story is somewhat related to this moral only. The frog and the ox. A frog decided to become as big as an ox. The very first line shows the frog is a fool. Can a frog become as big as an ox? Is it possible? Can we become as big as a giant? No, it's not possible, right? Here, the frog decided to become as big as an ox. So, it began to breathe and every time it swallowed more air, it did, in fact, become bigger. But it soon began to tire of its efforts. See, children, this is a story, or just an imagination, okay? So, here what happens? The frog wants to become as big as an ox. So, the frog started breathing in more air. When it swallowed more air, it started becoming big in size. Can you imagine? Close your eyes. A frog breathing in more air and it is becoming very, very big. It is same like when you blow a balloon. When you keep on and on blowing the balloon becomes bigger and bigger. So you stop at one point. You feel, yes, my balloon is bigger. But if you are greedy, more greedy, you feel like blowing it more to make your balloon bigger. So simultaneously, what happens? Yeah, what happens to the balloon? Come on. Very good. It bursts, is it not? Yes. So here, when this happens, when the frog swallowed more air, in fact, it became bigger. The frog became very big, but but it soon began to tire of its effort. So it became very tired. The frog uh, has become very tired of its efforts. So now the frog started asking his friends, am I big enough yet? It asked hopefully to its many watching companions. His friends. Companions means friends. The frog's friends are watching, and that is why the frog is behaving like this. The frog wants to boast that, see how big I am, like like the ox. So now the frog asks his companions, look at me now, compare me with the ox and tell me, am I big enough? Am I big enough? Am I of same size of that ox? So now what did the companions do? They had another look at the ox and shook their heads. No, a bit more. How foolish, is it not, children? So now the frog's companions they compared the frog and the ox and said, no, no, you have to blow in some more, take in some more air. You have to become little bit bigger. Then only you will be equal to that ox. This is the reply from the frog's friends. So, the ambitious frog. Ambitious is a very good word, children. Actually, we all have to be very ambitious, but we shouldn't be over ambitious. That is there. You know what is the meaning of ambition? What is your ambition in life? You might have heard this question from almost all your teachers in the classroom. What is your ambition? What is your goal? When you have some ambition and goal in life, what you want to become, what do you want to do, what do you want to achieve in your life? There you can use this ambition word. But being over ambitious will spoil everything, right? So the ambitious frog kept on puffing itself up and up. Puffing is what? Bloating oneself, like bloating in size. So now our frog, no, poor thing, he started taking in, breathing in more and more air, up and up. Till when, children? Until it burst like a balloon. Oh my God. Very sad ending, is it not? Yes. So now the frog is no more. It is dead. So the moral of the story is, do not make fool of yourself to make others happy, make others merry. You want to make others happy? Don't make fool of yourself. Understand? If we want to make others happy, do something constructive and make them happy. Let them feel your real capacity. What are you? Prove yourself. Clear, children? Yeah. Now you understood the story. Let's move on to the question. What did the frog decide to do? To fight an ox, to invite an ox, to become as big as an ox? None of these. Come on, quick. It's very easy. Quick. Very good. To become as big as an ox. So he started pumping in, taking in more air. Is it not? Yeah. Now tell me, what did the frog do to become bigger? What did it do to become bigger? Started breathing in and in, shook his head, looked at his friends, made others happy. He did something to become bigger. What did he do? Good. Started breathing in and in. He started taking in more air. What did its companions say? What did the frog's companions say? They asked it to be a balloon. They asked the frog to puff more. They asked it to become an ox. None of this. Think of these 3 points. Did his friends tell him to become a balloon? No. They asked the frog to puff more. Think about this. They asked it to become an ox. No. They didn't tell the frog to transform, entirely change as a as an ox. So which is the correct answer? Yes. They asked the frog to puff more. At one point, the frog asked his companions, "Is it okay? Am I looking like the ox?" And his friends looked at the ox and then said, "No, some more air you have to take in." So this is the point. You know this very well, children. You know this. What happened to the ambitious frog? Finally, over ambitious frog. What happened? It became an ox. It became a balloon. It died. It became merry. Come on. Yes, simple. It died. Okay. What is the meaning of merry in the passage? Sad, angry, happy, wedding. The meaning of merry, you know, wherever the word merry is, it is got the same meaning. What is that? Happy. Very good. The passage here is the lion and the bull. You know the story? I'm very sure you know this story. Yes? United we stand, divided we fall. We have to be together. Don't stay alone. You must have good friends. You must be in good company all the time. When you are alone, people easily take you. Bad people. Okay. Yeah. So now, the lion and the bull. The lion and the four bulls. You might have had the story under the header like this. You remember the story? Yeah. Now, let's see how it is given. Children, these stories are old stories which are very famous, well known stories with nice moral, very good moral. But when you have learnt these stories in your lower classes, this one story would have been one lesson actually. But here, can you see it is in one page, just in one page. Can you see the standard of the language? So, if you want to make this story elaborate, also you can start writing this one story to 4 pages. Okay, make it simple and then you can divide. You can elaborate the story. But here, everything put in one page shows the standard, right? Okay, let's begin. The lion and the bull. A lion prowled about in a pasture where four bulls were grazing. He tried many times to capture them, but each time he failed. Whenever he came near, the four bulls turned and formed a ring, so that no matter which way the lion approached, he was met by their horns. Okay, now you have to watch something here. In your echoes class, you learned pauses. Yes? Do you remember pauses? Wherever there is a comma, you should give a pause. We dealt some 2-3 exercise in your echoes book based on this. Can you see this? Can you read like that? In that pattern. Come on, start reading along with me. Whenever he came near, see here, there's a comma. Whenever he came near, the four bulls turned and formed a ring, so that no matter which way the lion approached, he was met by their horns. Yes? Okay. Why I just recalled that? Because whatever you learn, wherever you learn, especially grammar, You have to apply that in all the subjects. Even when you read science or EVS, even mathematics problems. Okay. So when you see something, you have to relate to the topic which you have learned in grammar already. Yes, grammar plays, English, your language plays a very important role wherever you go, whichever small sheet of paper you take and read. Yeah. So my point is we should not read something and leave it. Apply that wherever necessary, wherever possible. You have to recall and then apply. Clear? Okay. A lion prowled about in a pasture where four bulls were grazing. The lion wanted to eat the four bulls. Prowled is the movement of the lion, not running very fast. Okay. Prowled about in a pasture. Pasture is what? A green pasture where the cows and cattle graze. That is only pasture. A lion prowled about in a pasture where four bulls were grazing. The lion wanted to eat. As I told you, he tried many times to capture them. But the lion failed. Why? But each time he failed. The reason is, look here. Whenever he came near, whenever the lion came near, the four bulls turned and formed a ring. Wow. They were together. They stood together. The four bulls stood together, formed a ring so that no matter which way the lion approached, he was met by their horns. This is interesting. Can you see this? They formed a ring. They didn't stand in one line, straight line. They formed a ring. Yes, look at the screen. They formed a ring. So the lion was not in a position to attack by the lion was not able to attack. Okay, children, from any direction. So in any direction, the lion met the horns. East, west, north, south, any direction, the lion was not able to attack the bulls. Let's move on to the second paragraph. One day, however, the bulls had a quarrel and would not speak to each other. Oh, poor thing. Something happened. The four bulls had some fight for some reason and they were alone, separated. They were separated. Each went alone to a separate part of the pasture to graze. Normally they used to stay together and graze, eat the grass. But now, because of the quarrel, it is not fight, quarrel. Okay, quarrel is nothing but you fight orally. You don't hit anybody with hands. Okay, each went alone to a separate part of the pasture to graze. So now this was the moment the lion had been waiting for. Okay, here is a chance for the lion who was already waiting to eat the four bulls. So now what happened? Yes, you know this. One by one, he attacked the bulls and made an end of them. Easily he attacked the bulls because no one to stop the lion. Finished eating all the four bulls. The four bulls are dead. So now, well fed and contented, the lion thought. See, those beasts refer to the four bulls. Those beasts would still be grazing had they remembered, united we stand, divided we fall. Who says this actually? The lion. After eating fully, well fed, nicely eating, okay, finished eating, well fed and contented, full, filled, okay. The lion thought those beasts, that is the bulls, would still be grazing. In case if the bulls followed this, united we stand, divided we fall. We should not quarrel, we should stay together. If the bulls had this in their mind, they would still be grazing. This is the statement uh, thought by the lion. Okay. Now here are the easy questions. Number 11. What did the lion try? To eat the grass. Is it? No. To capture the four bulls? Yes, it has got some point. To fight the bull? Mm, none of these. Did the lion want to fight the bull? Or the lion want to eat the bulls? Capture the bulls and eat. Which is the right answer? Yes, absolutely right, children. To capture the four bulls and then eat. Okay. Number 12. The lion could not catch the bulls because what's the reason? They were united, they ran very fast, they were very brave. None of these. They were united or ran fast or very brave, which is the correct answer according to the story. Very good, children. They were united. So one day, all the bulls went in different directions. Why? What happened? Why did they go in different directions? The reason. They wanted to see new pastures. They wanted to search green grass. They had a quarrel. All of these, only one answer, not all of this, which is a perfect one. Why did they move to different places? Because they had a quarrel. Number 14. The lion killed all the bulls. When? When they were dash. When they were united, when they were alone, when they were sleeping, when they were running. When did the lion kill all the bulls? Yes. Yeah, all of you are saying the answer. Very good, children. When they were alone, when they had a quarrel and separated easily, the lion killed all the bulls. Here is a story of the crow and the lamb. The moral here is think before you act. Why I talk about the moral in the beginning of the story, before even beginning the story, is you will understand the story if you know the moral. Think before you act. So throughout the life, whatever work we do, we just have to think for a second. That is the idea. It's not that you have to keep on thinking whether I have to do this or not. Think, decide, do it or don't do it. Okay, that is, we should decide quickly. We should not take a long time, but before acting we have to think. Clear? So now let's see what is happening to the crow here. The crow and the lamb. The crow saw that an eagle dropped down from the sky onto a lamb, caught it with its talons and flew straight back with it to its nest. Okay, understand the situation, children? One day, a crow saw an eagle. The eagle swooped down, caught a lamb. Lamb is of small size for the eagle. Yes, the eagle caught a lamb with its talons. Talons, have you seen the claws of the eagle? Very strong, right? And flew straight back with it to its nest. That means the eagle took a lamb easily and flew back with the lamb in his talons, in his claws, and then went back to its nest. The crow saw all these things. So now the crow thought he would like to do the same. Are you laughing? Is it possible, children? The crow thought he would like to do the same and went out in search of a lamb. Okay, soon he came across one grazing in a field. He saw a lamb grazing in a field. He acted like the eagle. Same. He just copied the eagle. And just like the eagle, the crow dove to capture the unsuspecting lamb between its claws. It is only called as claws. But look here, they are called as talons, which are very strong. The name itself is different. So now the crow Dove means like it just swooped down. Quickly it flew and tried to capture the unsuspecting lamb. That means the unsuspecting lamb means the lamb was not aware of it. Okay, it didn't suspect that a crow is going to take him away between its claws. But the lamb was much too heavy for him. It's quite natural, is it not? The lamb was too heavy for the small crow. And you know which was the worst condition? And what was worse? The crow's little claws got caught in the lamb's thick wool. Oh my god. The claws of the crow got caught into the lamb's thick wool. Lambs have thick wool in their body. Yes? Yeah. So now what happened? The claws of the crow caught in the wool. It was not able to come out. Got tangled. Okay. The poor bird was trapped there. Now the shepherd who was grazing the lamb there. The shepherd who was taking care of the lamb. The shepherd saw the crow, caught it, and put it in a cage. That's all. Here ends the life of the crow. Right? The shepherd caught the crow and then put it in a cage. Now it has become a caged bird. Earlier it was free to fly here and there. So the one who thought to imitate an eagle ended up being caged. A crow should be a crow, an eagle should be an eagle. Is it not? Crow cannot become an eagle. Therefore, always remember, children, think before you act. Now, let's move on to the questions. What did the crow see? The crow saw an eagle with a lamb. The crow saw an eagle in its nest. The crow saw that an eagle had caught the lamb with its talons. None of this. No. A, B or C. D is not correct. Okay. So which is the correct option? What did the crow see actually? Exactly what did the crow see? Remember the passage? Yes. Right. The crow saw that an eagle had caught a lamb with its talons. 16. The crow thought that it dash. It would become a friend of the eagle. It would do the same as the eagle had done. It would eat the lamb. None of this. So think A, B or C. Um, the crow thought that it would become a friend of the eagle. No, right? No. It didn't think that way at all. Would do the same as the eagle had done. The eagle swooped down and caught the lamb. So the crow wanted to do the same, or it would eat the lamb, or the crow wanted to eat the lamb. And the crow did not think about eating the lamb. Yes, probably after getting the lamb, it might eat, but the story doesn't go here to this level. Which is the correct answer? You're right. That it would do the same as the eagle had done. Right? Why could the crow not catch the lamb? So according to the story, the passage, the crow could not catch the lamb. The reason. What's the reason? The lamb ran very fast? No, no, no. Yeah. The lamb was very heavy or the lamb had thick wool? None of this. You have to check either B or C. The lamb was very heavy. That's why it was not able to carry. Or the lamb had thick wool, which is the correct option. Yeah, the lamb was very heavy and its claw got into the wool. Okay. Okay, now our crow is caught. What did the shepherd do with the crow? He killed the crow, he put the crow in a cage, he left the crow in its nest, or none of this. He did something. Yes? What is that? Come on, think. Got the answer? Right. Very good, children. He put the crow in a cage. What is the meaning of imitate in the story? Imitate means to meet, to call, to see, to copy. The crow wanted to imitate. Yeah, the crow wanted to imitate the eagle, right? So here imitate means very good. Copy. The crow wanted to copy. Okay, children, whenever you're free, you play back the video, listen to the questions and answer. Okay, meet you in the next class. Thank you, children. Bye bye.